Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Shri Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Om Vishnu Pada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Swami Maharaj Namacharya Kaviraj Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत तथा श्रीवास्तव गौर भक्त वृंद की मायापुर जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की तुलसी मई की मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की और ग्लोरीज टू somebody all glories to somebody all glories to somebody all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Pawan. Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for this series of lectures on the God Purnima festival. We are today on Antilila. We welcome all of you, all the devotees here in the Balaramdesh. It is a very different feeling. It is entirely a different feeling after 2 years of gap. At least I am feeling it very different. It happens with everyone. So today we will read from Antilila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and the very last chapter. The last chapter is the Sikshastakam prayers. Am I audible? Okay. The last chapter is Sikshastakam prayers. And the verse is the very important verse. All of us, we know this verse. All of us, we have recited so many times this verse. When I was asked, because I have not reached until 11. I know some pastimes, but then I chose this verse, which the very first day of Iskcon, or when it comes first time, you see people reciting, the devotees reciting this verse. So this verse is from the Sikshastakam, and let us recite that verse, then we will discuss the root, the foundation of our spiritual life, the foundation of our sadhana, the foundation of everything is this verse. And that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given so much importance to these 8 verses. So we will take one verse and then we will go through some pastimes of the Antilila to understand that verse. So this is from chapter 20, Antilila, text 21. Vinadapi sunichena Rotiva Srishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadari Vinadapi sunichena Karoriva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadari Vinadapi Sunichena Karoriva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadari. Vinad api, that downtrodden grass. Sunichena is being lowered. Karo is then a tree. Eva like. Sahishnuna with tolerance. Amanina without being puffed up by false pride. Manadena giving respect to all. Kirtanya to be chanted. Sada always. Hari the holy name of the Lord. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who thinks lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnana Niran Siddhana Chakshurun Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Krishna Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gaurvani Pracharini, Nirvishesha Shunyavari, Paschati Deshakari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi, Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna. See, in this verse, three important things. As I said before, the foundational principle of our sadhana, our spiritual activities is based on this verse. So humility is the first. The second is the tolerance, and the third is not expecting any respect and simply going on giving our sadhana. But what is humility? Now we may ask, ourselves, what is humility? Is humility like every time Hari Bol or every time bowing down or being pampered? Can we understand? It's not like that. What we learn from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, in fact, what we learn from Chaitanya Charitamrita, just going through the pastime, understanding the pastimes of the Lord, you will understand that the Lord, how He showed His humility. Many times devotees are trying to stop the Lord. Oh, you don't go here, you wait for some more time. So sometimes the Lord, yeah, okay, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. But then in the end, what happens? He goes to the South India, he goes to the Vrindavan, he goes to the Jagannath Puri. So in the beginning, he understands the mood of the devotee. But in the end, he goes to the goal of this spiritual life. Like goal, what is to be done? Because he came, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came 500 years back, and there are two things, Shastra and Shastra. So if we see Lord Rama, he used Shastra, right? Parikranaya sadhuna vinashaya iskcon dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami. So Lord Rama, even Krishna, he used Shastra. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he used Shastra. And that's why he gave the 8 important shlokas in the end. And what is this? Being humble, being tolerant, not expecting any respect. What is this? This is coming from the Shastra. He used the Shastra. He was also a great scholar. We all know how he defeated Ishwar Kashmiri. But in the end, he defeated everyone with the humility, with the devotion, with one pointed focus on chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. So humility is basically that forgetting our ego, keep aside our ego in following the goal. You suppose we are discussing, we have a meeting. So the subject matter is important. It is not important who is speaking. If I have to think that whatever I am speaking has to be respected, has to be considered, then the subject matter, the goal of the discussion is compromised, right? But because we may not be right also, somebody else's opinion may be right. So keeping aside the ego, keeping the main goal of the subject, that's what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. You take any example, Brahmananda, with Keshav Kashmiri, with Prakashananda, any pastime, he kept the main thing, how to make this person realize the importance of chanting the holy name in Kali Yuga. That was his main object. He was not worried to take the lower position, but to make him understand that what is important in life is this. So that is humility. So he never compromised on principle. So humility doesn't mean that Hari Bol, Harinam, Hare Krishna, this one, and compromise on the principles. So he never compromised. As I said in the beginning, you see the past time, he said, okay, he will wait for 2 days, 3 days, 5 days to please the devotees, everything. And then again after that, he went on with his yatras, with the preaching, with everything. This is the simple way of understanding the humility. The second thing is tolerance. And we will understand this with the pastime of the Antalila also. That tolerance is when we accept the reality. See, what is the reality of this material world? That we are comfortable. I was thinking we are comfortable with so many technology, with the sitting arrangement. The moment I entered, the first thing I was searching out where are the coolers and everything is ready or not. Because I am used to it. I am so much conditioned that unless and until I get some air around, I can't speak or I can't be comfortable. So we are comfortable, but we are comfortably miserable. Right? What is going on inside, stress, work, this, that, so many things are going on, right? So what is tolerance? The tolerance is that this is the reality. So we should not wage a war against the reality. This is the reality. Sometimes the AC will work, sometimes the battery will not be there. After 2 years, we will not find the battery. Sometimes the air will not come. So I was, what I was doing, I was training my mind. The moment I entered, I found the room is little bit not, it is okay for many, but it is not okay for me because I am somehow or other, I'm used to open the windows, let the air come in, like that, So I was little bit miserable, uncomfortable, not miserable. So in this life, in this material, life, we are comfortably miserable. So what tolerance gives? Tolerance, it helps us that this is a reality. Sometimes it will not work, sometimes things will work, sometimes it will not work. Accept the reality and move on. This also we will learn today from the past time. It is so wonderful. In fact, day before yesterday, again, when I was reading, when I was thinking, Iskcon Balaramdesh is the last book which I started. I started with Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and so many other things, Nectar of Instructions, Nectar of Devotion, many other Srila Prabhupada books, which I think were the last. And then I realized, some devotees were saying Chaitanya Charitamrita should be the first book to read. And I said, yes. Actually, I should have read the first time after Bhagavad Gita, the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Why? Because these are all full of such a wonderful pastime. You will go on reading on, and there are very few purpose. So you will go on reading translation, and there is a summary in the beginning, translation will go on. But in the end, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, depending on the length of the chapter, 10, 15 shlokas will be there with tremendous amount of realization and knowledge will be given. And then when you think, this is the way Grihastha life should be like, we all are chanting, listening, dancing, meeting here. Sometimes some misunderstanding is there, sometimes this misunderstanding is there, sometimes we say something out of our nature to find faults, right? So many things we are doing, you can correlate with Chaitanya Charitamrita. And we will discuss that also just in 1 or 2 minutes. So this is a wonderful book. And those of you who are not started or are not reading, please start reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is such a wonderful, wonderful piece of work that we will relish for. So we will take today to understand the concept of humility, the concept of tolerance from some of the pastimes of the Lord. And then in the end, we will understand that it is not the head. Although head is here, heart is here. Head comes biologically, head is here. And heart is here, so head is superior. But we will understand that the heart is superior than that. And this is the sum and substance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, that he was so knowledgeable that he defeated the renowned Keshav Kashmiri at the age of 14. But in the end, he used the devotion to the Lord. That was the essence. So we'll understand that. We'll take the pastime. The very first pastime which I was just going through was the Ramachandra Puri. You know, he was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And Madhavendra Puri was the, Lord Chaitanya, the spiritual master, Ishwar Puri's co-brother and all that, god brother. So Ramachandra Puri was very, very skeptical. And he was always finding fault. What fault? He was always finding, and he found the fault in his guru also, Madhavendra. He said, why you are doing this? Why don't you do that? And he got into some other philosophy also. So once he came to Jagannath Puri, then he met Lord Chaitanya. And he saw Lord Chaitanya eating, Lord was honoring all the prasadam from Jagannath Puri temple, from the devotees and everything. And so much of description is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita that some devotees bringing huge amount of prasad and the Lord is accepting that prasad. The next day, some other place, there is an arrangement. Lord goes there and honors the prasad. And this Ramachandra Puri, he was such a person that he will incite a person to eat more. And then when he eats more, then he will say, why are you eating so much? This is not good for spiritual life. And this should not be done. So every person, this was his style. He will go there, he will make him to eat, make him to honor prasad, and then he will start condemning. So this was his routine in Jagannath Puri. He comes to the Lord Chaitanya also, and he starts preaching there also. He says, you are a sannyasi. You should not eat so much. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just smiling, said, yes, yes, just nodding his head. And the other day, the next day, every day, while he is honoring prasad, Ramachandra Puri, he was just saying something or other to the Lord. So one day what happened, he came in the morning, he saw the ants. Chaitanya Charitamrita describes, he saw the ants nearby Lord Chaitanya. And then he concluded that you must have eaten a sugar candy, the full sugar candy the previous night. That's why these ants are here. So he was constantly, constantly nagging Lord Chaitanya. Imagine the humility, we are discussing the humility aspect, right? We'll come to that one. Beautifully, Chaitanya Charitamrita explains. He did not say anything because anyways he was his spiritual master's god brother's disciple. So he said, he went on accepting his criticism, everything. Then what happens is all the devotees there, in Jagannath Puri, they are tired. They are saying, if the Lord has reduced the eating to 50%, for whom we will cook. We are cooking for Lord, we are offering to the Jagannath, and then we are giving it to the Lord Chaitanya. He himself has reduced the eating. So the mood of Jagannath Puri was very saddened by this. See, one person, Ramachandra Puri, disturbed the whole environment of that place just by being critical. But how the Lord responded, Lord was very, very, he just went on. In fact, just by listening his words, he reduced his eating. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reduced his eating by 50%. And that's why all of them were very unhappy. Then what happens is, one day after 2 months, 3 months, Ramachandra Puri goes back to Bengal or somewhere. He goes back. Once he leaves the place, immediately the Lord goes back to his original quantity of honoring the prasad. So what it shows, that being humble doesn't mean that you are trampled. Okay, somebody has asked you like this one, and then you are going on listening to that, listening to that, listening to that, and you go on accepting it, and then you accept the same thing and you say, okay, this is fine for me to please you. No. For that particular period of time, he was careful about that devotee who has come from Mayapur, who has come from West Bengal, because he is, as I said, he was his spiritual master's god brother's disciple. He was careful, he dealt with him. But in the end, he started his own thing, that what he was honoring the Prasad, he was honoring the Jagannath, Lord Jagannath's Prasad, he was honoring the devotees also, he was going to the place, different places. So this is the aspect of humility, is that we have to be humble, but not at the cost of many other things. Right? The other pastime where we see is a pastime where the devotee brings oil for him. I forgot the name of the this devotee who brings oil for Lord Chaitanya, and then Lord Chaitanya says, no, give it to the give it in the Jagannath Puri temple, not here. One was Ramachandra Puri, then Jagat Ananda Pandit, Jaganananda Pandit. Very interesting this also. What happens, he also comes from, because last many years Lord Chaitanya spent in Jagannath Puri, right? So one day, another devotee comes from West Bengal. His name is Jagat Ananda Pandit, Jaganananda Pandit. And he brings a very scented oil with him. So he comes to the Lord and he says that this oil is very special, and I want that you should rub it. It is very good for your health, for everything. Then Lord immediately said that for a sannyasi, this is not good. You take this oil and offer it to the temple. They will use it for the service of the Lord Jagannath. Then this fellow, this devotee gets very, very angry. He gets so frustrated, Jaganananda Pandit, that he throws the whole pot of oil in front of Lord Chaitanya. He throws it. See the frustration. Lord said the Chaitanya Charitamrita described that he was so polite. Politely he refused that use this in the service of the temple. But he broke that pot of oil in front of the Lord and he just went away. He fasted for 3 days. And when the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to know that he has gone, he got so much upset and he has gone outside and he is not eating anything. Then after 3 days, the Lord goes to that place, to his place, knocks the door. He opens the door and the Lord says that today you cook and I will honor the prasad. Cook, offer it to Jagannath and I will honor the prasad. So this devotee is like, really he becomes happy. And then he cooks a lot of prasad for him. And the Lord says, I will only eat if you are also honoring the prasad with me. The Jagannath Pandit, he says, no, my Lord, I will eat once you finish your food. So this discussion goes on. And in the end, he serves Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the end, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ensures that when he is returned back, he ensures that he has taken the prasad by sending the other set of devotees that just ensure that this devotee has taken the prasad. So what we understand from here, again, there's so much of tolerance. All of a sudden, somebody is coming from West Bengal, brings the oil, and he is asking Mahaprabhu to use this oil. And Mahaprabhu just said that use this oil in the service of the temple, go and give it to the pujari over there. And he just breaks the whole pot. and then he goes away. He is fasting for 3 days. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sees all this in short in today's world. You will say all this natak only. This is so much of big tamasha happened just for something that you give this, take this oil and give it in the temple. He didn't say anything. He said, okay, as a sannyasi, I'm not going to use it. But so much of frustration, so much of pot breaking, then going away, fasting for 3 days. This all when Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna himself, when he did not say a word, you can say he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what he has nothing to lose, he has nothing to gain, he can do all this. But how? We have to understand. But at least we can understand the concept, the philosophy, at least something we can understand. And at least we can implement in our life this tolerance aspect. The other thing, the humility aspect, we see in Haridas Thakur. The same Antya-lila describes the passing of the Haridas Thakur. He is a Namacharya of our movement. And the Lord says in that chapter, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he himself took care of Haridas Thakur when he left his body, right? He took his body, he did all the funeral activities for him, and then he says a very, very important thing. He says, one who reads this section of Chaitanya Charitamrita, one who concentrates his mind on Haridas Thakur, one who thinks or concentrates again his mind on his lotus feet. Because Haridas Thakur, what he did, the chapter describes, he took the feet of the Lord, he put it on his chest, and seeing the Lord, he left the body. So it is described in the chapter that just like Bhishma Pitama, he left his body seeing Lord Krishna. Similarly, Haridas Thakur, he also left his body by seeing Krishna. And Haridas Thakur was very senior to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was maybe 20-30 years elder to him. 22 marketplaces. Still, those who were beating him, they got tired, but Haridas Thakur was not tired. And he was still chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So this is the humility, this is the tolerance aspect of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which when we learn, when we read the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we come to know about all these things. With these three pastimes, we come to the platform. Yes, the humility is important. Yes, the tolerance is important. Many a times we see these things we are talking, but so many times this happens when you are chanting senior devotees, when somebody is not giving respect, it is said, and you are going to chant. But in the mind, we get, oh, why this fellow has not given me, this devotee has not given me seat to sit in the front, or something like that. We are going to chant, we come in the room, and some devotees have not given any respect. So we think continuously 16 rounds that this fellow is just coming in the movement, and I am here for 16 to 20 years, and he is not taking care of me. Right? This thought comes. So when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, when we read the scriptures, what is Lord Chaitanya saying? He is saying, not expecting anything. What is the goal? The goal is to chant the holy name. The goal is to do some service. The goal is to reach Srila Prabhupada. The goal is to elevate ourselves from where we are. In that goal, anything is coming, we should not care. That's it. See, the Krishna consciousness is simple. Prabhupada said, no, it is simple. It is very easy to come to the temple, dance, feast, have prasad, make some talk, and go back. But what is important is the sustenance, right? The most difficult, important thing in Krishna consciousness or in spirituality is how to sustain. This sustenance comes from reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, because in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is a very, very elevated, as you go on cantos here, this is like elevated concepts, elevated pastimes. Chaitanya Charitamrita has just happened 500 years back. Here you have a devotee who is criticizing Lord. Forget Lord, he is criticizing all the world, and he is also criticizing the Lord for eating. Here also we have in the movement Krishna consciousness so many devotees criticizing. We also sometimes criticize. So this is not replicating what we are doing here. I'm not comparing 500 years back period with now, but still that same mindset is there. So we can relate very nicely to Chaitanya Charitamrita that somebody will think, well, nowadays also people are getting some, no, Maharaj, take this one. I have got it for you, oh Prabhuji, this you like, I have got it for you. And when he says something that Prabhu, I have purchased it, maybe you can keep it, you can use it for yourself. We also feel bad. But what we have to learn is that is very natural. As we learned in tolerance, the reality is there. Somebody will not take your gift. It is very, very natural to feel not good. It is very natural. But what is the higher purpose? The higher purpose is that he is very honestly telling that I have this stuff. You take it, you keep it. Maybe you can use it in the service of other devotees. So many times this has happened. So many gifts, items and all, so many Maharajas come, so many Prabhus have come. If they don't require, they have said it is not required. This is very natural. So how we should take it? We should take it in the mood of Chaitanya Charitamrita. What Lord is teaching, this is what He is teaching. Use it in the service where it is required. So practical, isn't it? When we don't read, we are not knowing. When we read, we have to just understand these things. Humility, tolerance, and the other thing is not expecting all the time that yes, somebody will respect me, cannot be able to do this and all that. So this is the foundation. When we come, I think still I have 10 minutes, right? 10, 15 minutes are there. It's there. So this is the foundation. On this foundation of Trinada Visnichena, Karorvati Sahishnuna, we come to the understanding, as I said, that yes, in this world, we say head is important, you take the decision with the head. But once you are exhausted with your head, then the heart comes. How the heart comes, this is also explained, not in this Antilila, but in previous Alila, Nimadilila, that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrated that heart is above the head. Biologically, head is above the heart. And we are also being taught that take the decision not from the heart, because the decision from the heart is being sentimental, right? To take decision out of emotion. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has combined this one. Once you are exhausted with your head, once you have achieved a certain level, once you are nipun, once you are qualified, once you can debate, once you can discuss, then there is no need to show that one is superior, to show your knowledge, to show off your qualifications. There is absolutely no need. This is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrates. This is demonstrated in 1, 2, 3. Many leelas are there. The very first one which we started off was when he was 14 years old. Just imagine 14 years old. He started a school and he was teaching grammar to the students, right? And that time, Keshav Kashmiri, the famous scholar, he got the benediction from Mother Saraswati that nobody on this earth will be able to defeat him. This is the benediction from Mother Saraswati. He comes, all the Brahmanas, all the scholars, they left Mayapur, nobody was there because they were scared that they may not perform properly in front of Keshav Kashmiri. So when he comes, Nimai, at the age of 14, he was the only one there, and Nimai Pandit was teaching the students Sanskrit grammar. When he comes here, he was puffed up. See, in this pastime, we will learn that how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he destroyed the pride in him. He was very much respectful towards Keshav Kashmiri, but what he did, his main aim was not to win the argument, not to win the debate, but his main aim was to crush his pride. How he did that? If you have read, otherwise I will just go on. In short, then when he comes here, the debate starts. And he says, what do you want me to compose? He said, Nimai Pandit said, you compose some poetry. Then within a moment or within 2 to 3 minutes, he composed 100 shlokas, 100 stanzas of poetry describing the whole thing. So everybody, the Nimai Pandit students, Nimai Pandit also, he was listening. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was listening also. He was Nimai at that time, 14 years old. He was also listening. When he finished his composition, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, what was the 67th verse? There is some issue is there. In fact, before this, he's just asked Keshav Kashmiri, you have composed very nicely. Is there any grammatical mistakes in that? Can you just find out some grammatical mistakes? Because he was himself a grammar teacher, right? Nimai Pandit was a grammar scholar. So he said, there is something grammatical. Can you find it on your own? He became so furious. He said, how dare you can ask me this question? I am being blessed by Mother Saraswati that there will be no fault in your composition. Then he says, no, in the 67th verse, I see there is some problem. Then Keshav Kashmiri was very surprised. Then he said, I have got the blessings and I compose this 100 in 2 to 3 minutes or whatever immediately. Then how you can remember the 67th verse? So Nimai Pandit said, the same power of Krishna or as a demigod, Mother Saraswati, she has empowered you. The same power is also given to me to remember. She has empowered you with writing skill and she has empowered me with the remembering skill. So he was stunned. Then he went on, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, there is a mistake. And what is the mistake? That you have composed certain things where it says that wife, husband of Lord Shiva, wife or something, husband of Lord Shiva's wife, or some complicated sentence was there, which means that it was not directly referring to Lord Shiva's consort. Something he messed up while composing that one. Then he was thinking that yes, he has done. So he was completely defeated. Then that day, Nimai Pandit, he thought that he's very, very senior. Keshav Kashmiri was very, very senior. So how can a senior person be defeated? And all the students started laughing. So he became very serious. Nimai Pandit, he said, you do one thing, you come tomorrow. Tomorrow morning we will again discuss. So he was humiliated, like he was feeling like that. Nobody humiliated him. It was only a debate, and it was not at all Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's plan to defeat him. He was just, to slash his pride. So he goes to his room, and in the night, he dreams about Mother Saraswati comes in his dream. And he says, how come you promised me that there is no one in the whole world who can defeat me? How this happened? You know what Mother Saraswati said? She said, that promise is still intact. Nobody defeated you. No human being can defeat you. Then they know I was defeated yesterday. He said, do you know who he was? Then she said, he is the master of my master. This is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that the person who defeated you is the master of my master, which means what? Who is the master of goddess Saraswati? Brahma. And who is the master of Brahma? Brahma got Tene Brahma Hriday Adi Kavi, right? He got all the knowledge from Lord Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna. So he said, he is the master of my master. Then his eyes were completely open. He says, what is this? So that's what my promise is, that no human being can defeat you, and that's what is still there. No human being has not defeated you. It is Lord Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is Lord Krishna himself. He is the master of my master. He has defeated. Then his eyes, ears, everything got opened. The next day he rushes towards that school where Nimai Pandit is there. he fell down and he was crying. Then the Lord hugged him. And then, Chaitanya Charitamrita describes that Keshav Kashmiri, he became such a wonderful devotee that he compiled so many books and he helped in Krishna consciousness movement of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was just glorifying the holy name by loudly chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. What we understand from here? See, the humility, tolerance, everything, every aspect is there. The respect, all three aspects are there. He was at the age of 14, he defeated. But at the same time, he never felt that it is his aim is to defeat. No, aim is to make him Krishna conscious, right? To make him compile books, because his ability is in compiling books, writing Vaishnava scriptures. So how do we make him realize? So that was the objective. No ego, nothing, and slash his pride. Because with pride, person will not work. We work for some time, but after some time again, we will come back to the same thing. So this is what the heart is higher. Head is higher. He defeated, right? He used his intelligence when he responded to Keshav Kashmiri's argument, 67th verse, this verse. His head was full. It's not that he didn't know or something like that. He was going over things. But he took the decision, he took the action, he empowered him through his heart. So the heart is higher than the head when it comes to Chaitanya Charitamrita, when it comes to Srimad Bhagavatam. All this Krishna consciousness, the heart is higher than the head. The second one, same thing. When the Lord goes to Varanasi, see Prakashananda Saraswati, such a scholar, where he was sitting, all these people were sitting like a big Maharaj, they were Vedantists. Nobody can defeat them in any Vedanta. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reached Varanasi, he didn't get a proper place. So when he entered, he was sitting near the toilet or near the wash area. He was just sitting there. And all these big Prakashananda Saraswati and other his disciples and other godbrothers, they were having big chairs. They were discussing philosophy, they were discussing Vedanta. And Mahaprabhu was just sitting there. So they observed that some light, because they were impersonal followers, so they can see. So they observed some impersonal light coming from the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body. And that was very, very empowering. So then Prakashananda Saraswati, he got up, he went near to the Lord, and then there is a picture also, very nice picture. With the hand he lifted, Lord Chaitanya, like, why you are sitting here? You come here. So then he took his hand and they came to the main stage area where all of them were sitting. Then he asked, then the discussion began. Then he asked, why are you dancing? Why are you just chanting the holy names? You are dancing and all these things. Why you are doing this sentimental stuff? Why you are doing this sentimental stuff? So then Lord says, I am doing this sentimental stuff because my spiritual master has said to do this. My spiritual master has said, chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. To chant the holy name constantly, and this will be very, very powering and empowering for me. Very simple. But this is a very sentimental stuff. Why you are doing? We should discuss Vedanta, we should discuss logic, we should discuss so many things are there. This will not impress anybody. People are impressed by the jnana, by the knowledge, everything. Why is this chanting? And that you are chanting on the road, you are chanting, dancing with everybody. But Lord said, this is what my spiritual master said. It's a long past time. Then when it came to the Vedanta, when it came to anything, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that day with his Prakash, see, he was Prakash Nanda Saraswati, right? That day it is said that he got the meaning of Prakash because he could see the Prakash. He also got Ananda because that was also there in the presence of Lord Chaitanya. And he became a very great devotee that day with the discussion. So what is the essence? The essence is the knowledge. They were very knowledgeable. They were much knowledgeable. As compared to, you can compare it to the devotees also, ordinary devotees. They may not show, they may not recite Vedanta, they may not be knowing so many scriptures. But the essence of all that scripture, once you know the essence of all that scripture, then the knowledge becomes very, very futile, very small. So with this humility, with this tolerance power of Lord Chaitanya, so many discussions. Even one time in Antilila, we see one lady, he was there, he was taking the darshan of Lord Jagannath, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu near the stump. And one lady came, she could not see the Lord Jagannath's face. So in order to see Lord Jagannath's face, she climbed up on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's shoulder. She climbed up, she was sitting here and she was taking the darshan of the Lord Jagannath. Mahaprabhu was completely absorbed in Lord Jagannath's darshan. When the other Govindas and all the secretaries, some other servants and all, they observed, what is happening? You are standing on Lord Chaitanya's head or the shoulder. What is this going on? And they got her out, down. And Lord Chaitanya said, no, it's fine. Let her also take the darshan. And he's also taking the darshan. So this is, tolerance, humility, whatever you can say. Brahmananda, so many pastimes, Brahmananda. We will end with this pastime. In short, Brahmananda Saraswati, when he comes to meet Lord Chaitanya, he was also senior. So the assistant of Lord Chaitanya, he said, Brahmananda Saraswati has come. So he got up. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no, he's very senior. I should go out and eat. He went outside and started. When he first saw Brahmananda Saraswati, he was a sannyasi and he was wearing the deer skin. The sannyasis in that sampradaya, they wear the deer skin, not the dress what normally is followed. So Mahaprabhu, see his style again. When Mahaprabhu saw Brahmananda Saraswati, then he's asking his servant, where is Brahmananda? Where is Brahmananda? So Brahmananda got the message that Mahaprabhu is not happy with his dress and all that. So see the subtle aspect of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu knows, yeah, Brahmananda, but he's asking, where is Brahmananda? Where is Brahmananda? Brahmananda is standing here. Then he, oh, Brahmananda, how are you? Whatever is going on. Then he mentions that we are not supposed to wear this deer skin. So the message is passed in a very subtle manner. And then there is another discussion between them. Then he says, Lord Jagannath is there. Then he says, there are two Brahmans. One Brahman is Lord Jagannath and another Brahman. You are the another Brahman. One Brahman is you yourself, pointing to Lord Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, and another Brahman is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu also started discussing. He said, no, there is two Brahman is there, you are right. But there is one more, who is a super Brahman, and that is Lord Jagannath. One Brahman, I am one Brahman, you are one Brahman, and the super Brahman is Lord Jagannath. So this way, the conversation went on, and Mahaprabhu again touched his heart. The discussion is very nice. One says, okay, you are the winner. Sarvam Bhattacharya says, yes, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are the winner. Then the other fellow, Brahmananda Saraswati, he gives some other logic. He says, hey, you are the winner. So that goes on very nicely. But in the end, he was completely mellowed down, and then he started chanting. So, in summary, what we did today, basically, we took up this shloka, which is very important shloka for our spiritual development. That is the foundational principle of our Krishna consciousness movement. And we also discussed a little bit about Antilila. One important thing is, as you see, the whole movement, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited so many places, South India, North India, Bengal, Jagannath Puri, Varanasi, Vrindavan. When he came to Antilila section, means that moment, he did not move anywhere. He was all the time in Jagannath Puri, all the time in Jagannath Puri, spending time with the devotees, discussing some internal things, something very, very, very deep things. This is very important for us to understand. See, you cannot go on, if you go on doing without internalizing, we will feel little bit of vacuum inside. This is, after, let's say, after 10 years of Krishna consciousness, after 15 years of Krishna consciousness, or after 20 years, or 25, 30 years, fine, you are doing the same thing. But if we don't take out some time to contemplate on what we did, what we studied, and to have some really heart-to-heart talks with the devotees, with whom you were there for 20 years, 15 years, 20, 25 years. This is what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing. Ramananda Dev, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, some other devotees who are coming only for discussion there. He's not moving. He's not moving the way he used to move in Adi and Madhya Leela, going here, there, preaching the holy name everywhere. But he is concentrating, and later on he is taken Gambhira, right, from the place. So what it teaches us, what it is saying, that at some point of time, we also have to internalize. In the beginning, when we go on with teaching, yes, just like Srila Prabhupada said, it is very easy. Come, have feast, have everything. This is nice, this is required. But for sustenance for many years, this is also required to internalize those things. So this is very, very important lesson from Antilila, that he never moved out of Jagannath Puri. Why? Because he wanted to focus firmly on Lord Jagannath. And exchanging, as Rupa Goswami says in NY, right? We do prasadam, dadati, pratignati, that we are doing it. We are distributing prasad, we are accepting prasad, we are giving gifts, we are accepting gifts. But heart to heart, exchanging the messages from heart to heart is very difficult. That only comes when we really focus the way it is described in Antilila. When we are only focus on the things which we have done before, which with some devotees discussing with them. So this we discussed also the Shastra and Shastra, another very important, that it is not Shastra, this is Shastra, this is not Shastra. So Lord came in that mood. And how in this world we are also comfortable. We need comfort. We are comfortable, but we are at the same time comfortably miserable. So that always we should remember that we have, internally something or other will always bug us, right? And then we try to understand this tolerance, this humility, all these concepts to Ramachandra Puri, how Ramachandra Puri was criticizing the Lord for eating, but the Lord left, like he reduced the eating to 50%, but when he left, he again started and everything. So he did not offend any devotee. He took the position of that Ramachandra Puri. And in fact, Ramachandra Puri, because of this habit, was cursed by his spiritual master also. Because Madhavendra Puri, when he was about to leave the world, Ramachandra Puri was there in front. He said, as long as you will be in front, you just get out from my vision. He was cursed by the spiritual master also. But that person also, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he respected and he heard his advice also. He left his eating, he reduced his eating, but he was not trampled by the humility that no, he will not now please the devotee. So he started his own thing again, keeping the priority of spreading Krishna consciousness, spreading the movement. Then we understood the example from Jagadananda Pandit, that how he got the oil, and the oil pot was broken and everything, but in the end, he went on fasting, but in the end, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he pleased and he honored the prasad. Then we came on to the area of where the head is not that important, heart is important. Then we understood how the combination of head and heart, Keshav Kashmiri, defeat of Keshav Kashmiri, the pride was shaken up. Then we came to understand about the Prakashananda Saraswati. Then we came on to the Brahmananda Saraswati and so many other things. So with this, at least the learning is that this is the safest path, which the shloka. That's why when I was asked, I took this shloka because this is already done in the first class. As I remember, the first class was on Shastram prayers, right? It was already done. But these prayers are so inspiring that I thought I will again take this shloka and speak on from the Antilina perspective and summarize with the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita perspective. So thank you very much. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for going much deeper into this